Hello, everybody. I'll start again. Hello, everybody. It is John and and my producer, quality controller, and I guess very grumpy puppy. Because today, what are we talking about? I'm going back and having a look at this again, aren't we? Because there has been some controversy over the race, the Hadozee. Yes, yes. So I'll let his lordship go back down there, and if he bites me, and I have a bit of a whinge, it's because he's obviously found I've done something offensive. Yes. So look, apparently something popped up about the Hadozee, and there's all sorts of controversy happening here. Now I do apologise. I've got a bit of glare coming off my glasses. See if I can mitigate that a bit. No, not really. Can't do too much about it. Hopefully not. See this? Look, how's that? Put my glasses at a bit of an angle. Is that any better? No. Ah, dear. Look, this is interesting. Looking at what Wizards of the Coast wrote in their latest production for the Hadozee. Now, they're going on here about the Hadozee and the information they've provided here, and they've said that, you know, they're timid mammals, no bigger than house cats, and they've provided pictures. And that's it. They've just said they're mammals. The pictures. And they've said here that they were visited by a small fleet of spell-jamming ships under a wizard's direction. Traps were laid, they were captured and experimented. And then they were created an army of enhanced Hadozee warriors for sale to the highest bidders. Now, look, this has deviated extensively from what was in the first release of the Hadozee in the second ed release for Spelljammers. Now, in here, they actually say that the Hadozee are, or they call them deck apes, are tall, slender, tailless, ape-like humanoids. So we actually get a description. No description here, just mammals. Good old wizards, isn't it? They're covered with brown hair, including a shaggy mane that surrounds their face. So again, Wizard seems to be afraid to sort of describe anything anymore. It's all very, very vague, isn't it? Second ed, we don't have a problem. We describe things. So we continue on, and they say, they give further descriptions, and they say that the Hadozee are rude, reserving their coarse commentary only in the presence of elves and the Hadozee's employers. Isn't that interesting? When outside these controlling influences, however, they can utter a continuous stream of insults and derision with tongues sharp enough to make the most seasoned spelljammer take notice. So they're a very salty sort of, sharp-tongued people. However, the Hadozee are extremely diligent workers and are respected throughout the known spheres for their willingness to work as hard as is needed to get the job done. They do not shirk their responsibilities in combat either, and most Hadozee work both as crewmen and as mercenaries. So this is really good information that they have got in this second edition of D&D. Is this in the current edition? No. Why haven't we got this sort of information in the current release? No, what have we got in here? Captured. And now we've got people complaining about, oh, look, this is talking about slavery and all sorts of things. Look, slavery is part of the world. Whether or not you like to think about what is defined as slavery, is slavery working for minimum wages? Is that essentially slavery? You're selling your services for a very, very small pittance. Look, honestly, what you do see and what you don't see, I can't help you. What I saw written in here, I didn't have a problem with. I don't see, it's like people who decide that they're going to retrospectively look at every piece of work that has been written and apply their own warped and twisted ideology to the past to reflect their modern ideas of where things should be, which is impossible and ridiculous, and people should just leave things as it is. If you don't like the way that it is written in your current role-playing system, change it. I, for instance, have gone back to buying all my books for Spelljammer, actually just about everything now for D&D, because Wizards of the Coast have essentially lost me now because their production material is not worth really the paper it's printed on. I've gone back and, for instance, I've bought most of the Spelljammer material for a fraction of the price of what Wizards of the Coast is charging for their new material. And there is more information in the old material than what I am getting in the current stuff that Wizards is producing. I'm really disappointed in Wizards with what they are now producing. And, you know, I'm thinking, initially I thought, oh, they're trying to produce stuff that doesn't offend people, but obviously somebody's taken offence at the new, you know, in this edition's Hadozee description. You know, are we now going to say, well, look, we can't include anybody or any cultures that might mirror anything in today's current world? So does that mean that we can't include anyone that might be Bedouins or anybody that might have a nomadic lifestyle, that we don't include anybody that might be reflect any sort of native style, you know, natives of any particular earth culture, without offending anybody? Look, we've got to draw a line somewhere because it's all fantasy. It's all fantasy, and if people start taking offence at anything and everything that is printed in a fantasy world, then we will find that authors, particularly in fantasy and science fiction novels and settings, will never get anything printed, and we'll have the same generic style books being printed, and nobody will produce anything new, and it'll be the same rote material. It'll be like the romance novels that follow a formula of, well, even those might change now because of all the things that are happening. But yeah, look, it's, you know, when I looked through the Hadozee with the second ed stuff, you know, there was no information here at all, you know, about any sort of conflict with regards to being slaves. They were an independent people. The elves found them. You know, they have here that the Hadozee prefer to join crews of other nations. They're particularly fond of elves as employers. A group of young Hadozees of both sexes will sign on with a single captain. So there we go. Both sexes are happy to be employed. So that's what they say there. What else have they got in here that somebody might find? You know, they talk about the fact that because they can fly, the way that their clothes are made are unique. They wear like a caftan type things because they need to be able to have their wings, because their wings go from their arms down to their feet, I think. So, you know, the Hadozee have travelled the spaceways for generations, working for masters of many different races, and are familiar with most of the languages. So they've been around. It's not saying that they've been oppressed or imprisoned. So I don't know why Wizards decided to make that particular reference. If you know, I'm just thinking, geez, have they just put that in to get notoriety and get people to pay attention? I have no idea. But anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. I honestly recommend people go buy the old second edition stuff. Forget the stupid little warning stuff in there about, oh, Wizards from years ago have different values from today. Well, yes, they do have different values today. I don't exactly agree with the values that people have today. So, look, probably be a warning in another 10 or 20 years' time. So who knows? So anyway, look, thank you, everybody. My dog didn't bite me, so obviously I didn't do anything offensive. So till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.